be a record amount of money is not necessarily a false statement. But the idea that in the minutes of that 8%. And so, again, I think we're gonna have to work back that idea that the employees of the school district of Lee County are expecting 8%.
Yes, I think it's
And not all of them may get it. And I have never said it's an 8% across the board. So that's my situation. It's not an elephant, because we're gonna talk here tonight and we're gonna work stuff out. But I think we're gonna have to have some discussions with a lot of employees if they don't get 8. And that's it. I'll continue our compensation conversation.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Good afternoon, I'm Jill Castellano. I am a teacher at Cypress Lake Middle, and I am also the Vice President of TALC. I'm doing quite well. I don't have any time constraints. Who's missing is noted. Kevin went over our issue, and my expectation is to continue compensation conversation.
There's switches over here, I think, by the door. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Good evening, my name is Anna Witten. I am a 4th grade teacher at Franklin Park Elementary, as well as the secretary for TALC. I have no time constraints, I'm doing fine. We have no one missing over here. Our issue has been spoken to, and my expectation is to continue the conversation.
Good afternoon, my name is Shay Pearson, and I'm a testing coordinator at Island Coast High School, and I am the TALC treasurer. I am doing fine. I have no time constraints. Missing has been noted. Our situation has been discussed. And I have the same expectation, continue compensation discussion.
Hello, my name is Amy Johnson. I am a 6th grade teacher at Mariner Middle School. I am doing well. No time constraints, missing noted, none for us. Elephants, none. Expectations, continue compensation conversation.
Good afternoon. My name is Iris Grimaldi. I'm a school social worker. I'm currently assigned to Lehigh Senior High School. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. Missing has been noted. Our issue has been addressed, and expectation is to continue the compensation conversation.
Good afternoon. My name is Louis Fisher. I'm the director of bands at Gateway High School. I'm doing fine. Only time constraint I have is get home to see my dog. Missing is noted, no elephants, and expectation the same as everyone so far.
Good evening, I'm Christina Stewart. I'm from Tortuga Preserve Elementary School. Doing well, no time constraints, missing's noted. The issue has been addressed already. Expectation is the same. Thank you.
My name is Heather Rodriguez-Wibbles. I'm a school counselor at Calusa Middle School. I'm fine. I have no time constraints. We've addressed our issue. Missing noted. Expectation is to continue with compensation conversation.
Good evening, my name is LaShonda Hutchins Colon. I'm the grade 3 through 5 math coach at Franklin Park Elementary, and I'm fine tonight. I have no time constraints. The issue has been addressed. Missing is noted, no elephants, and expectation is to continue the compensation conversation.
Good evening, Mario Dorstans at Fort Myers High School, mathematics teacher. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. No elephants, the missing has been noted. My expectation is to continue compensation conversation.
Good evening, I'm Robert Dodig. I'm well. I have no time constraints. We don't have anybody missing, I believe. Have no elephants or issues in the interest of interest-based bargaining. And my expectation is continue compensation conversation.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Brinkley. No time constraints. Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. No one's missing, no elephants, expectations to continue this conversation. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Heather Leonard. Don't have any time constraint this evening. I'm doing well. I believe there's no one missing from our team, no elephants, and expectations, I'll go with continue the conversation.
afternoon, my name's Amy and I'm doing fine. No time constraints, no elephants, and continued conversation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kevin Kelpie. I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. Missing has been noted, no elephants, and expectations.
Hi, I'm Mike Gatewood. I'm doing great. I have no time constraints. Missing has been noted, no elephants. Expectation, continue, compensation, conversation.
Good afternoon, Michael Robichaud, Director of Insurance and Benefits Management. I'm doing well, no time constraints. Missing is noted, no elephants, and I'll go with continued compensation conversation.
Hi, my name is Carl Burnside. I'm doing fine. No time constraints. Missing has been noted. If anybody's missing, I don't think so. No elephants. Expectations, go ahead and continue compensation.
Hi, I'm Suzette Rivera. I'm doing well. No time constraints. We have no one missing on our team, no elephants, and my expectations are to continue compensation conversation.
Good afternoon, I'm Ben Osman. I'm doing great. I have a 6:30 time constraint. Missings noted, elephants none, expectations, continued compensation conversation.
Shannon Johnston, I'm doing fine. Time constraints, missing has been noted, no elephants, and the same expectation. Thank you.
Jessica Duncan, I'm doing well. I have no time constraints. Missing has been noted, no elephants, and my expectations are to continue the compensation conversation.
Course McIntosh, I'm doing fine. I have no time constraints. I'm Assistant School Board Attorney for the County School District. Missing has been noted, no elephants, and expectations, continued conversation on compensation.
Good afternoon, Ann Cole. I am well, no time constraints. Missing has been noted, no elephants, and expectations are to continue the compensation.
Good afternoon, my name is Helen Martin. I am doing well. I have no time constraints, no one missing. I have no elephants, and expectations are continued compensation conversation.
I'm Amy French. I am doing well today. Those expectations to help this unanimous decision to continue the compensation conversation.
And good afternoon, I'm Donna Munkenard. I'm doing well, and I'm gonna go with everybody else at this point. And you received the minutes last week. Does anybody have any changes or deletions or corrections to the minutes? Amy?
I think I have one, and it's just more of a question.
Mike is coming.
All right, first day. First day.
All right, I am on page 2 of 3, and it is the first bullet at the top. And it says there will potentially be new information on the salary study around March, April 2024. It is of mutual interest for this information to be commenced. I don't know if commenced is the right term, completed or available. I don't know what the intention was there. Available? Okay.
What bullet was that, Amy?
The first bullet on the top of page 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is the only correction I found.
That's it? Anybody else? Available. Anybody else? Jill has something. Amy has something. Mike?
Yes, ma'am. On page 1 of 3, just wanted to clarify that second bullet underneath story. where it says, the board and the superintendent agreed to allocate additional money before the completion of the salary study. I'm not sure exactly what that was to convey, but maybe it was to convey that the board and the superintendent had already allocated money for the salary study that we are now putting forward now. I believe that's what that's supposed to convey, but I don't think that's exactly what that's saying.
Okay.
So I'd like to update that.
Okay. Thank you, Amy.
So in your letter, are you have already allocated the funds for the salary?
Right, the board and the superintendent had allocated money for the completion of the salary study and have now included it in the bargaining authority, right, available today. I think that's what that bullet was meant to be.
All right. Jill, did you find where you were?
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
So I just want, in our story, I believe it was mentioned that the district wasn't interested in an 8% across the board raise. I mean, I see it says here on the first page of story, 3.28 million includes TISA funds. This is equivalent to an 8% increase, but it was said in the meeting that the district was not looking for an 8% across the board increase as an option, and I don't see that reflected in the minutes.
Okay. Kevin, did you have something?
Yeah, in a second, I'm forming first.
Okay, Kerr?
Right there.
So on the second page, under story, right above the options, it says the FEA unit director. I think that can just say TALC. That's first bullet.
What?
2. Just TALC shared. And the third bullet says 50% must go towards getting beginning teacher to. I think if we just add in years past and then a comma to that third bullet at the beginning, that would better reflect what we were saying.
The 50% must go to beginning teacher salary.
Yeah, it's that third bullet. I just think it needs to start in years past. Something like that. Or until, yeah, something.
Okay. Kevin?
And so this is in response to something Amy said, and I know this is not back and forth time, but I'm having a hard time processing it. So like 2 or 3 meetings ago, it was 16.5. We then asked for you to come back with more money. That's all you told us, is it was 16.5. 16.4. We then asked you to, please see if you can shake the couch and get some more money. And 2 weeks later, you came back with more money. Now that money was allegedly to come back later after some salary study we didn't know we were a part of. So was the bargaining authority originally the number we have now? And when were you going to tell us that there was a salary study and extra money to be brought forward? It just seems to me convenient that, it's 16.4, we ask you to find more, you find more, but that more is attached to some phantom salary study we didn't know we were a part of to be discussed like SPALC when it's over to still govern this school year. So I'm having a hard time and I can't get around it. So maybe there's a simpler explanation and I'm looking for something, but the total must have been this 30-something million dollars, that amount of which, the new amount of which was held back without telling us you were holding money back until we asked you to find more money. And I can't get around the idea that you wouldn't have led with that on the first night. It's 16.4 and we've got all this other money after the salary study. The money for the salary study we didn't know we were a part of popped up after we asked. So again, right, because the first night it was 16.4. And as far as I know, there was never discussion of money around being held back until we asked to please find more money.
I think that's really our story.
Yeah.
And not, yeah, I'd rather, let's do the minutes first. That got a little more expensive. So, can we go back to the minutes, and if we have no more corrections or deletions, then I seek thumbs to approve the minutes with the corrections and deletions. All right, thank you. All right, now, Amy, whatever you remember what you said. Kevin, you would like to know if.
Yeah, I can't figure out the order of operations. Was there this $30 million pot originally? We were only told about the 16 point something? Or was there, 16 point something, and then there was a salary study we didn't know we were a part of, and the money that we didn't know was being held back was revealed to money that was being held back?
Okay, Kevin, this is what I have. Council would like to know 32.8 million part of the original bargaining authority and only 16.4 shares. I was unaware of being part of the salary study. Good? Okay. Okay. Anna.
I also want to add, as part of the story, looking at one of our very first interest there says transparency. And when I look at this final FY23 budget amendment report, it says in here under the line for salaries, it says it has also decreased due to funds moved to clear negative balances in other functional areas after the final pay to employees has occurred. So going with what Kevin just shared too, I don't know if we can clarify that, but again, it makes us question if this was the money all along or not.
So the order of operations was laid out within our conversations. The first night that we met, I don't know the dates to attach to them, but the original night when we talked about the bargaining authority of $16.4 million, that was the bargaining authority. We didn't have a conversation about all of the details that went behind it until the next meeting when we were in the board room. And in that meeting, we talked about a salary study, was transparent about the salary study and how it was going to occur, and that the district was planning for the salary study. We talked about that in both bargaining sessions. So there was no phantomness about it. The information was in the information that we provided, that there was a salary study going on and the district was planning for that, for those results at that point in time. Subsequent to that, the request or the conversation was had at that same meeting, and at the end of that meeting, the request was made to go back and ask for additional bargaining authority, which we did. And in the last meeting that we had, the one subsequent previous to this one, we came back and we said that, yes, the board had agreed to some additional authority. And I believe if we go back and watch the video, I said, and I believe Rob said as well, that those dollars had been originally allocated for reaction to the salary schedule study, that the board agreed we would move forward as this bargaining authority. So all that conversation took place in each of those meetings in that order.
Thank you. Jay?
So I guess the question at this point, is there any other money that's put aside for when the salary study comes back? And if so, do we know that dollar amount?
Okay.
No, we discussed at the last meeting as well, the one previous to this one, where the board had agreed that we were moving forward those dollars that had originally been planned for the salary schedule study. The salary schedule study was still very important. It was still a priority. We were still going to move forward with that, and the plans for the reaction to that salary study will have to be next year, next fiscal year, that is. So the planning in next fiscal year will include what reaction has to be, or what reaction the district can make to whatever the results are of that salary study.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Anybody else? Shay, again?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all
Just
right.
a little bit of story. I just want to mention something, and I'm not sure how to do this, but I'm going to put it out there. So at the end of the last bargaining meeting, there was a lot of frustration run high from our audience. And well, I will say I'm appreciative with the extra money that's come back and the fact that we have more to work with. Some people are having a hard time when they go back and they do watch meetings and they do go back to where executive directors and such sorts, when you go back to, I want to say in June or July, did receive something between a 20 and 28% increase. Whereas the teachers, how it came out last time was an 8%. And I understand there's a lot less of them and a lot more of us, but in a way, people are feeling undervalued. And I understand that there's only so much money we have to use, but it's really something that I wanted to note here tonight. I think I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, we're capturing that. Anybody else? Yes. Sarah.
So I need to go talk to someone because I did not get a raise last year. And the executive directors at the table did not get a raise last year in June. I'm not sure exactly it was. I can go back and watch the minutes or watch the meetings and the minutes and I'll let you know exactly who the people were.
Okay. Anybody else? Any additional story? All right, if there's no additional story, that means we're gonna move forward. Does anybody have any options? Remember, our interests are posted up here: transparency, equity, teacher morale, retention, recruitment, student achievement, competitiveness, compliance, ratifiability, manageability, affordability, sustainability, minimize compression, and urgency. And Rob, we have,
I mean, I'll speak first. I am anxious to know what's important to everyone. Those are our interests. I think we can talk about options. I think that's what we should be here to do tonight. So I'm just wondering if TALC has any desire to put some options up, and we can too, and do what we normally do to try to get an agreement.
Okay, Kurt?
So I guess I was looking for the same from the district side. We had an option last time, and then there was I think the minutes say the district's idea was moving to 50, and I'm curious what if you've come up with anything in the past week or so on a direction to move that helps address, one of our interests is addressing compression. I almost said compensation. Addressing compression.
Sure.
All right, and I see you closed the option from last week.
I think Anna raised her hand.
Anna.
Last time we were here, we discussed, you guys shared with us the line graph that had to do with the salary over the years. And we had talked about, there's a document we have used in the past that have like the minimum and the maximum for those years so we can address compensation. Were you guys able to bring that today?
Elizabeth just said she wasn't certain that. I'm not sure what Anna, can you restate that?
Yeah, so we used
We had the graph, we presented that to you.
Right, but so in order to address compensation or compression, we would look at something like maybe in years 11, it was, the minimum was here and the max, like we could kind of see those peaks and valleys. We used to do like a market adjustment using that document, so I was curious if we discussed it last time.
I don't think we have exactly what you're looking for. I mean, we have the potential to put some things up there as proposals that talk about that.
Okay.
I did hear Kerr say that compression was certainly a focus of something that you all are interested in. We have a similar interest. We also have an interest in complying with the performance pay part of the statute. So that's another one of our interests. We don't believe that we have to spend a specific, dare I say, part of this money on that, so long as we have a performance pay component of any option. We obviously have an interest in dealing with the TISA money and the career ladder, obviously, and I think that's essentially it from our perspective. I don't know if you share those interests with us.
Everybody? Kevin?
I think we share all of those, but I really want to have this career ladder discussion. Career ladder is held hostage every year because of these negotiations. The career ladder was the district's idea. 6 or so years ago, when it was started, anybody could see that it would become a significant financial implication to the district that I think they should take on as bearing the cost of doing business. And so the idea that career ladder is waiting on us, or we may have to spend some of the bargaining authority on career ladder, we have some really robust discussions around career ladder, including a 4th level that, quite honestly, I have an interest in compensating in an outrageous number, and a 5th level beyond that. And so the idea that every October people have to wait until we're done, or the idea that it has to come out of bargaining authority, it's been around. It's the cost of doing business. As I retire, and the people that have come in after me become more of the majority of the people that the district employs, it's going to become more expensive. So that's a cost of doing business now. That's not coming out of bargaining authority, and I hope that's not what the implication was. It's the cost of doing business. And I mean, we have to have this discussion, and we have to take career ladder away from this group and just say it's this, and it's this, and it happens, and it's not coming out of bargaining authority, and it's not being held hostage by our progress, or lack of.
Well, Chapter 447 says that a term and condition of employment is pay. Career ladder is part of pay. So although I agree with you, and I would love to have the ability to do it in some other way, it has to be collectively bargained. I understand your position relative to the money, where it's coming from, I get that. But it does have to be collectively bargained, I can't avoid that, that's the law. So I'm wondering if your robust discussions have resulted in an option related to the career ladder.
The Career Ladder Committee has met not as often as it should have, and we had some options related to, like, level 4, I think we were calling expert, and level 5, we were calling influencer, for lack of a better term. But we haven't met in a considerable amount of time, and I think in over a year, okay? And I think that the money attached to that was like $5 and $10 grand. And I think you're right, 447 says we have to bargain money, but we have done 100 MOUs. And we could do an MOU that says it's not coming from bargaining authority and it will happen on schedule unless we want to make changes.
Bill?
I want to piggyback on what Kevin has said. In the years that we've been doing the career ladder, we've been doing it, we started this work, I want to say like 12 years ago, I feel like. But when we've attached career ladder into the whole salary conversation, one of the things that has happened is that career ladder increase has been buried in other salary increases. And so I think the goal of career ladder is that you make it to a certain point after you meet requirements and you've done your PD and you hit I think 4 years and it's 10 years, you hit milestones in your career and there's money associated with that milestone. And when we had to move salary from like 41 to 46 and then we got it to the current salary it is now, those $1,000 increases got buried into truing people up. And so they never truly saw that $1,000 increase the way that they should for meeting that milestone. And so I understand that there's laws and things that we have to follow, but I think that's another reason why we have to start securing that money in it, like Kevin said, making that part of doing business, because people hit that milestone, they've done a significant amount of work, especially at the 10-year milestone, to earn that money in their check. And for so many teachers, they never truly saw that increase in their check because it was rounded up in a true up to try to get them to 47,250.
Do we know how many people fulfilled all the requirements to move on the career ladder last fiscal year?
419.
So I have an option to put up then.
Okay. Okay. What number this is? I don't think we numbered them last week.
Yes.
So, go ahead, Carol.
So my option would amend 10.02 parentheses 2 parentheses C of the current collective bargaining agreement. I would like to insert into line 30 after the amount $1,000. I'd like to insert the phrase on October 31st, or I'm sorry, by October 31st.
I'm sorry, insert in line 30 after the word.
After the dollar amount $1,000. Insert by October 31st each year. And then strike after the word district, everything in lines 31 and 32. So if I said that correctly, effectively, I want to take out the signing of the MOU each year in order to authorize payment for the $1,000 salary increase for career ladder movement.
Any other option?
I have one more option.
All right, go ahead, Kurt.
I don't know the best way to say it, but I'd basically like the option to say that, this would be option 2?
Oh, option 4?
Or, yeah, sure.
We had 2 last week, and we just started with 3 and now 4.
Let me renumber mine so I'm not off here. I basically want to take what President Daley's been saying, that that this money's cost of doing business and will be in excess of bargaining authority moving forward.
Capturing this career ladder movement money would be outside of our authority.
Yes.
Mr. Fox, sorry, the cost of doing business.
I don't think yes to that.
Okay. Thank you. All right, any other options? Amy?
What do you do with the amount of lines reviewing after the 1 and 2 that are already in?
Oh, sure. Okay. One was highly effective increase to $4,375. Effective for PSC, increase to $3,500. COLA, $1,750. And that was option 1. Option 2 is the starting salary would be $50,000 per year. No problem. Rob?
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn the microphone over to Amy. We're going to proceed with some options.
Okay. All right. Are we using the screen or? Okay. Do I have to work it here or do we need to?
I think you should probably go to a new sheet,
Okay.
just TBH.
All right, Amy, go ahead.
Did you tell me go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. So the option that we're gonna talk about has a few pieces to it, right? But it's all one part of the same option. So first of all, we'd like to propose that we do what we're calling a retention increase across the board, 3.65%. 65%.
Okay.
The second part of that would be to put into place a performance pay of effective or highly effective. Those amounts of a highly effective would be $1,350. Amount for effective, $1,012.50. 1012.5, yes ma'am. That was correct. And then we'd also like to propose a retention adjustment or salary schedule adjustment.
That would be option 6.
Well, no, it's all
in one
together,
option?
yes, ma'am.
So you're gonna call it a salary schedule adjustment or retirement?
Salary schedule adjustment, please. These salary schedule adjustments would be based on years of experience. And I'm gonna call them out for you if I can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so 0 to 3, 50,000. 4 to 7, 51,500. 8 to 11, 53,000. 12 to 15? You ready? 12 to 15? Okay, sorry, 57,000. 16 to 19? 60,000? 20 plus? 63,000. Order of important point for this, right? And I don't know that if you want, I think would note that, please, is that the order of operations on the whole option, the salary increase, right, would be your retention increase. Then after that retention increase, there would be what we have called in the past a true up, basically, right? So anyone who are here with those years of experience who are underneath those amounts that are listed, they would be trued up to that. And then would be the performance pay, and then career ladder, right? So that addresses the issue that I believe Jill was just talking about, where, you know, she was saying that things might get lost in there, like your career ladder or your performance pay get lost in a true up. The order of operations is set different so that that doesn't happen. It comes on top of it. And then each person would be trued up in that manner, according to the years of experience that are listed there. And I just looked to my colleagues to make sure I didn't leave out anything important in the option that needed to be noted. Sorry, I didn't address special instructional. So in this option, special instructional is at 63,000. So same at the 20 plus rate plus special instructional, I should have said.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other options? No. All right, if there are no other options, then we'll go to clarification.
So we have kind of a theoretical option, kind of along these lines, but it's different. But I just have a question for Amy or Rob or whomever. So when we look at what you're calling we would refer to as the true up, but on here it's called something else. If I'm a teacher in the 4 to 7 band and I already make $51,500, I wouldn't get any money from that, correct? Because I'm already at 51.5.
From specifically the true up, that is a correct statement, but you would receive the retention adjustment, the performance pay adjustment, and career ladder if applicable.
And that applies across the bands. We'll just, because we have bands too, so we'll just call them bands. That applies across all the bands,
That would
correct?
apply across, that is a true statement.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right, have Jill and Amy.
All right, just a quick question. So I know when I look at my payroll and compensation page, my longevity is a part of my salary. But is longevity considered this with the true up to, let's say I was making $57,000 with longevity. Is the longevity part of this or is it not?
Thank you for asking that. The longevity is a separate component. It does not, so in looking at the different bands as we referred them to and seeing what that salary is, longevity isn't part of that. So it is your base salary absent longevity. So whatever happens here, longevity was still like on top of that.
Thank you. I think Jill was next, then you. One hand down, Jill, please. All right, Jill.
I have a quick question about the performance pay, because it said highly effective and effective. So are we just looking at if you're highly effective and effective, or are we looking at like highly effective performance pay is $13.50, effective performance pay, highly effective and effective grandfathered are $1,012.50?
I think you mean PSC, by grandfather, you mean PSC contract?
Yes.
Okay, the grandfather schedule would get the effective, if that's what you're asking. Okay.
So highly effective and effective on the grandfather would get the effective raise, correct? In this proposal, okay, because that just wasn't, I want to make sure to clarify.
Yes, thank you. I wasn't understanding the question. Yes, that's right. Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
All right, Louis was next. Okay.
Your optional and special instructional, is there going to be any value placed on our years of experience on what we're bringing in? Because if you're coming in just through the LMHP or if you're coming in as a school counselor, are we getting any of that experience credit? Yes, you moved us up in the scale, but there's no experience credit given.
Not in the option that I gave, no.
All right, I'm gonna ask the question that if I don't ask it, I probably wouldn't be able to show my face around my colleagues again. How does this affect supplements? As a supplements being a percentage of the base pay, how would that be affected?
So according to the option that we have here right now, it's not affected. That doesn't mean that a conversation can't take place, but at this point, we've not done, that option does not include that. Hold on, Rob has something to add to that.
The supplement committee met last week and did not discuss any additional money for supplements at that time. That was not discussed. And Kevin, I think, was a part of it, so he has his hand.
Yeah, you want to clarify all that, Kevin, with supplement?
The supplement committee did in fact meet last week. And there was no discussion around an increase in supplement amounts because it would have come from bargaining authority. And because supplements do not count towards retirement, it has been the long-stated goal of this current TALC president that supplements is a separate pile of money, just like health insurance. So again, I can give people more supplements, but that means they get a lesser raise. And so until we bifurcate the things and treat it as a separate pile of money, which I think the district should have an interest in doing, again, the supplement committee is going to meet again. We're going to be back in February, hopefully with the ability to re-index and maybe do more with a specific pile of money like we've been doing with health insurance for at least 6 years, that it enabled us to not raise premiums on members and do the dependent kicker last year. So again, that's the reason why we didn't do that, just because it would have come from the bargaining authority. And so can't rob Peter to pay Paul.
Okay. Thank you. Who else has a question? Shay?
So with this option, what is the total cost of the option?
Rob?
Yeah, Amy has the exact figure. It's right near the bargaining authority.
Amy will give you the exact amount.
The option as it stands now, based on everything that we have, is a little over 31 million.
Okay. Anna?
So I just have a question about the salary schedule adjustment. When we talk about teachers in the different bands of years being trued up to those levels, knowing that we come back to bargaining next year. So like if someone who right now is in either year, 7, 11, 15, 19, when they complete this year and move up to that next year, it's about a 3,000 difference. Would they be moved to that next bump up in pay, or is this just a this year, this time thing, next year?
Yeah, currently, this is just right now, but we always have an interest in bargaining a longer contract. So I'll put that out there, but this is for, our bargaining right now is for fiscal year '24, so that's.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else have any other questions? Kevin?
So we kind of have the same theoretical option, right, that works around the idea of performance and bands. We pay a lot less in performance. I'm just going to be honest with you. We pay a courtesy glance at performance, and the rest of the money is spent other ways. I think eventually here we're going to caucus and we're going to see about kind of what your plan does compared to our plan. The only wild card for me is kind of the true up amounts. And because, I think Kerr has the data, but I don't know how many people are making $51,499. And so for them, that'd be a $1 true up, as opposed to somebody else who could have a maximum of $1,000 true up or whatever. Also, I think we need to talk about the idea of things that are currently calculated at an hourly rate that may have a change in the employee's hourly rate after we ratify. So if I'm doing coverage and it's paid hourly rate, right now my hourly rate is $33. This contract may put me up to $35. We need to have a discussion about whether or not we want to go back and give me the $2 I would have earned for every hour I worked when it was 31. So that's an implementation piece and something else, and I want to address the multi-year contract idea. I would be more than happy to do it, but I'm just going to let you know, the idea is if it's 32 for 1 year, it's 64 for 2. It's not 32 for 1 and 42 for 2. So again, I don't have a problem with having a longer agreement on salary. Just know that, and I'm just going to say this out loud, that a new kind of level has been established. The ideas of $9 million are no longer acceptable. And so, moving forward, we have to think about that. And so, again, I think we talked a couple of years ago about a multi-year deal. and it wasn't double the money for double the years. And I think if we stick to our commitment of bargaining and having it done before May, we don't necessarily have to worry about a multi-year deal. But sometimes the legislature does us in on that and doesn't do their job effectively.
Hey.
Understood, thank you. There was something I think I heard you say a caucus, that you were getting ready to do a caucus. And I just wanted to clarify something for the option two, is wanted to make sure we didn't leave anything out. And I wanted to make sure to note that here, JROTC is treated differently here. Because they received an increase from the military already this year, they're not they're included in the performance pay, and that's pretty much it. And if there was a true up, there would be a true up there, but then the other pieces don't qualify. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The rest is handled through their MIP, basically, as it is established by the military.
Kevin?
I just wonder if we've ever excluded them like that before, because I don't remember this conversation. I mean, I know they're paid some from the federal government and some from us. I just don't remember specifically having the conversation around excluding them, kind of from part of the salary discussion.
Understood. It's an important note. The options are the options, so we can continue to have discussion. But because that increase came in already for this year, that is why the option was structured as such, which is an option.
All right, I know you mentioned caucus, but does TALC want to put up their option first before they caucus? Kevin?
Kurt has let me know not yet.
Not yet.
He's frantically typing on the computer to change numbers and things, so.
Okay.
I'm sure that we'll have to caucus after we bring our option up, and so it's kind of we're causing two caucuses, and we completely understand that, but, all right, so I don't know, how long do you think we need? Maybe 20 minutes, please keep us, please come now. Yes, please.
The caucus was a little more than 20 minutes, but thanks. All right, we have report outs first.
We discussed the district's option, and we are prepared to put up an option of our own as well.
Okay. And Rob?
We discussed the district option and potentially how the rest of the evening will proceed.
Okay. So let's get that recorded and then TALC, if you want to give your option, or just give Amy a second here to.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this will be option 6, I believe. Yes. Anytime you're ready, Kerr.
So we went back to square, what is it, square one, square zero? We went back somewhere and really started looking at it from a different lens, kind of the same way that the district was looking at awarding salary increases based on years X or years of credible teaching experience. We, as you will see, paid minimal attention to performance pay, with the emphasis on minimal. So we started with trying to divide up the money to the most money to most people. So the way this works out is there's not really an order of operations, it's a little more straightforward. So for those with years X of 0, we did something similar to the district with I guess it's 3.65% increase.
So just 0, 3.6.
Yeah, it basically adds $1,750, bringing the base up to 50.
You did add 1750?
Yes, that was effectively the 3.65% increase for those at 48,250.
Okay, thank you.
Years 1 through 4, 6%. Years 5 through 9, 9%. 10 through 14, 10%. 15 through 19, 11%. 20 plus, 12%. And performance pay, you gotta promise me you won't laugh.
Promise.
Well, you already laughed. Highly effective, $65. Effective, $48.75. Again, paying minimal attention to the performance pay in an attempt to deliver more to the rest of the group.
Clarify this to be effective and PSC.
Yes, thank you. PSC and CCs.
All right, anything else? Anything else, Kerr?
Yeah, we I don't know how to say that. We agree on the JRRTC kind of the implementation or however you want to put that. In my data, I only showed 4 JRRTC members. I know we have more than that, so I don't think our number includes those. So I think there'd be some savings there. I'm not sure exactly how many JRRTC folks there are in the district currently. But I think that's it for right now.
Okay, so, Rob.
Yeah, Kerr, special instructional, how do you deal with that as option?
We kept them based on years X, and so they would get the proportion or the percentage increase and adding 1750 to the special instructional base.
So that would be in addition to the 17, okay, so.
Since the base for instructional staff went up by 1750, we figured we'd do the same for special.
The base goes up and then everybody who doesn't have the base is a percentage. It's the same formula.
So I don't put it in there.
What included, yeah.
Includes,
But Elizabeth's gonna say something, so she's gonna shoot it. She got her.
Okay, when we grouped the special instructional together years ago, we stopped collecting years X for them. So when they come in, they have none. So I can come in tomorrow with 20 years of special instructional experience, and I'm gonna have this many X years. They
Based
don't
on-
provide their experience to us.
Based on the data that we have from, like payroll data, that there didn't seem to be much of a discrepancy on the years X with the special instructional group.
Because we just didn't count it. They went directly to the 53 to 50.
So are you saying it'd be better to use years L for those? But that's reflected in longevity.
Well, years L would not give you anybody that just came in the last year or so. We tried not to treat them the same because they've been higher than anybody else on the salary schedule, even if they had 0 years.
No, I remember that conversation. It makes it difficult to cost them out.
We saw data in our data that had years X almost next to every special instructional person, which is why, I remember we essentially gave them what we gave them because they were, for lack of a better term, getting screwed, bringing in their experience. And so I know we did that, but it still shows credible X, so that's what we worked on.
Yeah, they start accumulating after they've been here. But if somebody just started last year, they didn't bring in their 15 years with them, they just started at 1 for the next year. So they do have a year's X now.
And
once they have joined the district as regular.
so their X and L are essentially the same.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, and then also, back to Kerr's point about JROTC, there will be some savings, I think. I don't know what it is, because I think it's based on years X, right? And so we'd have to kind of math that out together based on our plan, and maybe we could apply that savings to solve special instructional or to, enrich and performance pay, but no.
All right, any other, Amy?
Forget what I just said. I think I found my mistake. But go ahead. I think I found a mistake. That's what I get for thinking.
No, I was asking just a clarification on the issue. So you said, on the option. So are you saying in your option, JROTC is not eligible for any of these increased percentages? In your option?
Yeah, bless you, by the way. We did kind of mimic your option.
Right.
But yeah, but I found the mistake in my head. And so we're gonna have to work that mistake.
Okay.
Like my favorite quote of the day, everybody's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. So, yeah, we gotta rework that, and the years X for special instructional is a separate option.
Okay, so just in the working of this option and the pricing, you're saying JROTC is not included in any of the increases. I just wanted to clarify.
I think Kerr said they were.
They were.
We were looking at mimicking, right? No? Here, I'm gonna give it to Kerr.
Okay.
In the data that I'm working off of, I have them included, but we were wanting to mimic something that, basically what your option was, because of the increase that was already given through the military, give them with the performance pay piece and kind of look and see where that lands.
Okay, okay.
But like I said, the data that I have, that I received from the district only had four JROTC folks in there, so I know there's more than
Yeah,
just
that wouldn't be, yeah, okay, all right, just wanted to clarify, thank you.
So you're gonna write that in your JROTC would only be eligible for the performance pay part? So don't put that in there, yeah. Okay, gotcha, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Kerr, what is the cost of this, do you know?
right at 32.8 million.
Okay, any other questions or clarifications? Rob? No. Anybody else? Okay, any other option?
Well, I just humor me for a minute. So
Okay.
a teacher comes in with 5 years' experience. Under your option, we don't currently know what that teacher would start at, is that correct?
If they came in with 5 years?
Correct.
So if they have years X of 5, under our plan, it's a 9% raise.
No, but they're new hire.
What are they currently?
Not a current employee.
Right, no, I get it, right, because we used to have that nice placement schedule before the state made us screw everything up.
Right.
So a 5-year person, where do they come in now?
Gotcha, okay.
I mean, that's my question to you, because, well, you know, what happened, everybody knows the compression is a few years ago, everybody got $6,000, some people got $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, $12 to all make the same amount. So when somebody comes in now with 5, what are they getting?
48,250.
Right, so essentially in our plan, they would get 50. Because of, they're getting base pay now. And again, if we want to talk about reworking the placement schedule based on years people are bringing in, we also have to be relevant and think about the fact that we don't want somebody coming in with 5, making more than an employee who currently has 5. So again, that's compression related and having to do with the legislation that forced the floor up and didn't have enough money for everybody else. So it does seem inappropriate and disproportional, but until we're able to make it where we gave $6,000 to everybody who got messed out of $6,000, it kind of is what it is.
All right, anything else? All right, Kurt?
If I could just add a little story. So looking at some specific examples of, what some of these increases would look like for someone. So in year 5 through 9, the average salary is $51,088. And a 9% increase would be right at $4,600. $4,600 before the performance pay, Kevin reminds me. Somebody with 20 plus years with the district, the average salary of those with 20 plus years is almost $61,500. That's a $7,400 pay increase with our 12% option. I can't think of a year when anyone has ever gotten a double-digit salary increase, let alone 12%. I think it's a real. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what would be the salary?
Almost 7,400.
Okay,
Yeah, Donna, I
is
think.
that it, Kurt? Okay.
I think we may want to caucus, but I do want to say, for certain bands under the district's option that we put up earlier tonight, there are people that would result in more than $7,400 in an increase. So I just want you to be aware of that.
Can you provide an example? We were doing some math in our caucus room and I didn't get quite that high.
Yeah, we have some data somewhere. So, under our option, really at year 12, the percentage takes off. So we're looking at percentages at that that area or that year of between 15% and upwards of 20% when you get over 20 years. So that's not for everybody. It depends where they are. And it depends on the order of operations like we discussed. But there are areas on our scale or on our option that result in more than a 12% increase.
But there are people who would get no true up, correct? Or very limited amount of true up. Our problem is, but part of the true up is, it almost creates more compression because you're slamming people together by band. You know, ours is banded, but percentages are different, so there maintains a little distance between people, but to like true them up, it like slams them banded together. I mean, again, not the smartest guy in the room, but.
All right, anything else before we caucus? All right, how long, Rob?
15?
15?
Yeah.
All right. TALC, you caucusing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And call to the caucus, so first, caucus report.
Sure, discussed TALC's option, but also we have an additional option that's similar to TALC's most recent option that was put up on the board.
Okay. And let me just get the caucus report, then you can go ahead first.
We discussed our option in more detail and we're gonna rework a little bit to better reflect the special instructional group.
Okay. Okay. All right, Rob, ready with your option? Or Amy? Dr. Reed.
Yes, ma'am.
7.
Option 7? Okay, so all right, so the option is percentage increase in bands, as was discussed in the previous option. The bands are 0 through 3 at 3.65%. 4 through 7, 5%. 8 to 11, 7. 12 to 15, 8. 16 plus, 10. And highly effective increases, where applicable, of highly effective at 1350, effective 1012.50,
Effective in the PSCCC.
yes ma'am.
Okay.
And career ladder change where applicable. And the special instructional percentage increase, 4.5%.
That it?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Okay. And JRTC will stay the same as your previous option?
Would stay the same, yes.
Okay. All right, Jill.
What's the order of operations? Are we just looking at like no more, because you guys gave us bands before. So in the previous one, there was like salary bands. We're not doing the salary bands. This proposal, is it just percent increase by years? Okay. That's just what I wanted to clarify.
It is percent increase by, but the order of operations, which is still important, would be the percentage increase, then the effective, highly effective, and career ladder.
Thank you. Okay. There's something else, Kevin?
Yeah, what's the total cost of this plan? Please.
Approximately 32.6 mil.
Okay, any other questions on this proposal? It's similar to the last one, the numbers have changed a bit, so.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Do want to clarify too, though, on that cost, I do have to go through and make sure that we've handled all of the JRTC as appropriate, so that may change a little bit as we refine.
Kevin?
Do you know what the JROTC raise was from the federal government for this year?
It's individual by MIP, so if you're asking for like an average across the board or what have you, no, I don't have that information at this time, but we certainly could get it.
Yeah, that'd be great, because Anna, you said 7%? Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, if we could get that number, that'd be great.
All right. Anything else? Kerr, you mentioned that you had some clarification on special instructional. Are you ready?
We had to rework it.
You have to rework it.
Yeah.
You did rework it. Okay. Anything else for tonight? Any other options?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, in the option that we just have up there, the percentages as compared to option, I think it was 6, yes, are lower, but when factoring in the performance pay, effective, highly effective, the percentages come a little bit more in line with each other, pretty comparable, so.
Okay. Anything else? It is now 6:38. So, what's your pleasure? Do we want to start looking at some options, or eliminating options, or?
I mean, I don't think I'm ready to agree, and I don't think you guys over there are ready to agree to any of the, like, larger salary options, let's say. I think career ladder is something that maybe could happen. So if I were to propose a straw design, what was it, 2 and 3? 3 and 4, sorry.
All right, right here.
With an idea that we like make this more automatic for people. What's it? Is option 7 year X or year L? X. Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so the straw design is option 3 and 4, which is option 3 is to insert in line 30 after $1,000 by October 1st each year, and strike after the word district, everything in lines 31 and 32. Take out signing of the MOU every year for career ladder movement. And 4 is career ladder movement money is outside bargaining authority. Yep, Rob.
Yeah, we have an interest in doing a package. So individualizing each one of these things. If you notice, I didn't bring up an option of starting teacher salary at $50,000, which was just an individual option by itself also. So we have an interest in doing a compensation, if you will, salary package together.
And that's fine, that's cool. But I also, so we're scheduled to meet on the 2nd, right? And so our next natural meeting would be the 16th? So I'm gonna be honest with you, I hope we don't need it, but we have the room and we're slated and we're good to go for the 16th. What's that? There's no school that day. Oh, it's a duty day, okay. It's a duty day, all right. Yeah, so as long as we're on the books and we've got the room, and yeah, that's fine, all right.
All right, and just because we have the straw design up here doesn't mean we have to vote on it.
It doesn't appear as though there's a willingness to test it.
And we don't need to test it
Nope.
tonight. It'll be here the next when we return. And you can either ignore it and make another straw design or whatever we so desire. Amy.
I know this doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about right now, but we have mentioned that we need to change the longevity name to something else, otherwise the state will take it away from us. Do you want an option for that tonight? Do you want to ignore that for right now? Next time? Okay. I just wanted it in the books.
Okay. We can do an option next time or do it as part of an implementation plan as well, either way, so, we can do it next week, next Monday. Anything else for this evening, Rod?
No, I just want to thank everybody for their hard work. I know this is the difficult work that we need to get done, but I also just want to express, which I think everybody agrees on, is there is urgency to get money in people's pockets, and I know both parties feel that way. So just end with that.
All right, thank you. And anybody else? All right, again, thank you for all your work.